Streetlights melting on the rainy road, your shadow walking close to mine. Cold night air around the city, but somehow everything felt warm tonight. One earbud in your ear, one earbud in mine, half the song between us, like a secret only we could find. Sweet little laughter in the subway glow, your sleeve touching my hand so slow. No big words, no dramatic scene, just your smile shining softly beside me. Dreamy neon floating in puddles, taxi lights passing quietly. The whole city looked blurry, like a romance film after midnight. And suddenly I wish this walk would never end. One ear for you, one ear for me, two lonely hearts breathing in the same melody. Tokyo nights in Seoul, street rain, tiny cafes beside the train, late convenience store, coffee steam, everything felt softer than a dream. Your eyes reflected city lights like stars hidden in midnight skies. Even silence sounded beautiful when I walk beside you tonight. Sweet little moments disappear fast, but somehow music makes them last. So if tomorrow changes everything, let this song remember us softly. One ear for you, one ear for me, half of the melody still sounded complete. And maybe love is simply this, a quiet song, a slow night walk, and someone staying close enough to hear it with you. The station clock was blinking midnight blue, cold air drifting through the platform lights. You held warm coffee with both hands and smiled like we still had more time tonight. The last train warning echoed softly, but neither of us moved at all. People rushed past like waves around us, while our little world stayed small. Sweet city silence after midnight, neon reflections on the rails. Your sleepy eyes look brighter somehow under the pale station haze. We talked about nothing important, tiny stories and passing dreams, but somehow every single sentence felt sweeter than it should have seemed. One slow step beside you felt better than getting home. So we missed another train again, just to stay together a little longer. Tokyo windows glowing quietly, so my bus is fading away. Convenience store desserts and warm milk tea, turning ordinary nights into memories. Dreamy laughter in the cold air, scarf brushing softly against me. The whole city became blurry, like a beautiful unfinished movie scene. If tomorrow becomes distant, if someday we walk separate roads, I think I'll still remember this platform and the warmth beside me in the cold. The station lights slowly dimmed, the final train already gone, but somehow missing it with you felt like the right place to belong. Tiny raindrops started falling right above the evening street. Neon signs became reflections, dancing underneath our feet. You laughed and pulled your jacket closer, while the cold wind brushed your hair. And somehow in that blurry weather, the whole world felt softer there. Rain on your white sneakers, small splashes in the city light. Your hand slowly finding mine, like it belonged there all this time. Cars roll slowly through the puddles, street cafes closed one by one, but we kept walking without reason, like we hoped the night would never be done. Sweet convenience store umbrella, barely covering both of us, shoulders touching every few seconds, turning silence into love. Tokyo rain and Seoul reflections, subway lights through foggy glass. Every passing moment felt gentle, like a beautiful dream we couldn't hold fast. Your eyes looked brighter in the rainfall, warm against the silver sky. And even strangers passing by seemed softer somehow tonight. Rain on your white sneakers, tiny hearts inside the storm. Cold weather all around us, but standing beside you felt warm. this night disappears tomorrow. If these streets forget our names, I think the rain will still remember two people smiling through the haze. One small umbrella, one slow city walk, one unfinished love song floating quietly through the dark. The city finally quieted down after another crowded night. Streetlights humming softly above us, painting silver on the sidewalk lines. You held a warm paper cup, steam floating into the cold air slowly. And somehow that tiny moment felt more expensive than luxury. 2 cups of convenience store coffee, plastic chairs under neon signs. Nothing special to anyone else, but somehow perfect tonight. Cars pass like distant waves, like buses disappearing in blue light. The whole neighborhood looks sleepy, like the world was ready to dream. You smiled while warming your hands, and I forgot every heavy thought, because your small sleepy laughter made the cold night feel soft. Tokyo alleys after midnight, Seoul side streets glowing faintly, vending machine lights reflecting quietly on puddles after evening rain. No fancy restaurant reservations, no dramatic rooftop view, just cheap coffee and your voice turning ordinary nights beautiful. Sweet silence stayed between us, comfortable like an old melody. Even saying nothing together felt strangely complete to me. 2 cups slowly getting colder, while the sky turned deeper blue. And somewhere between those quiet hours, I think I started falling for you. If love has a real shape, maybe it looks something like this. A sleepy city, warm coffee, and someone staying beside you after midnight. Cherry blossoms falling slowly onto the empty cafe street. Pink petals dancing through the night wind, landing softly near our feet. You laugh while holding cherry soda, tiny bubbles glowing under neon light. And somehow the quiet little moment felt sweeter than the whole city tonight. Midnight talks beneath the blossoms, dreams floating gently through the air. Your sleepy voice sounded softer than every love song everywhere. Street lamps painted silver colors across the quiet riverside road, while passing bicycles disappear slowly into the blue midnight glow. Tokyo spring nights after closing, Seoul Café, windows fading dim. Everything felt warm and dreamy, like a scene from an old romance film. You talked about future places, small hopes hidden the last train crossed the bridge, and somewhere between your laughter and the quiet city breeze, I realized maybe happiness is smaller than people think. Sometimes it's only midnight conversations and someone you never want to leave. Dotonbori lights were shimmering across the river after rain. Your laughter echoed through the alleyways like music drifting through the train. Tiny camera in your cold hands, capturing moments randomly. Blurred neon signs and sleepy smiles turning into little memories. Polaroid pictures in Osaka, frozen pieces of midnight light. Your face glowing beside the river like a dream alive tonight. Street food smoke above the sidewalks, warm takoyaki in winter air. Tourists disappearing through the crowds, but somehow it felt like only we were there. You pull me closer for the picture while the timer blinks soft red, and that tiny awkward silence stayed spinning gently in my head. Tokyo trains and Seoul reflections, but tonight belonged to Osaka skies. Bright suns dancing on wet pavement like stars falling into your eyes. The photos came out slightly blurry, colors melting into blue and gold. But maybe beautiful memories were never meant to be perfectly told. Sweet little moments disappearing as quickly as the final train. Still your hand stayed warm beside me, walking slowly through the rain. Polaroid pictures in Osaka, stuffed inside your oversized coat. Tiny proof that love existed in the middle of the glowing night. And years from now, when seasons change, when cities fade into old dreams, I hope those blurry photographs still remember what we couldn't explain. The intersections stay completely silent past 2 a.m. beneath the neon haze. Traffic lights changing colors slowly, like they were waiting for us to say something. Cold midnight wind across the avenue, your eyes reflecting emerald light. And suddenly the space between us felt smaller than the city tonight. Kiss me before the green light, before the moment disappears, before the trains start moving again and reality returns here. Fingers brushed against my jacket, tiny sparks running through every quiet second stretching longer, like fireworks inside my heart. Tokyo crossroads after midnight, Seoul towers glowing pale blue. The whole world looked distant somehow whenever I stood close to you. No music except our breathing, no voices except passing rain, but somehow the silence between us said more than words could explain. You smiled like you already knew what I was too afraid to say, and every blinking traffic signal pulled my heartbeat farther away. Kiss me before the green light, before strangers fill these streets, before this tiny lonely intersection stops belonging only to you and me. Taxi headlights crossed around us, painting silver across your face, and for one suspended second, time completely lost its place. Then softly you leaned a little closer, while the signal turned from red to green and the whole city disappeared inside that unfinished dream. The record store smelled like old paper, dust and jazz floating through the air, soft trumpet music from the speakers echoing gently everywhere. You flip slowly through vinyl covers, while rain taps softly on the glass. Midnight city lights outside the window flickered like fading photographs. Then suddenly between the records, a tiny folded paper slipped free, a handwritten letter hidden quietly like a forgotten memory. Love letter left inside the vinyl, words sleeping for all these years, faded ink beneath warm yellow light, still carrying somebody's tears. You smiled while reading the old message, soft laughter hiding in your voice, and somehow that stranger's lonely story made this night feel even more beautiful. Tokyo jazz bars after rainfall, Seoul alleys glowing midnight blue. The whole city felt nostalgic, standing quietly beside you. You asked me if someone wrote you a love letter, what would you want it to say? But honestly, at that exact moment, just hearing your voice felt enough. drifting through the dark, and every small unfinished silence left another note inside my heart. Love letter left inside the vinyl, hidden between old melodies. Maybe love never disappears, maybe it just waits quietly. The shop owner dimmed the lights, slowly preparing to close another night. But neither of us wanted to leave the warmth of that little world behind. The city finally grew quiet after a night that passed too fast. Only the soft sound of vinyl spinning remained inside the dark at last. Warm lamplight across the room, your silhouette beside the window, half-finished coffee on the table, and sleepy jazz playing low. The last song before sunrise felt softer than goodbye, like the whole world was holding still before the morning sky. You leaned your head against my shoulder, listening without saying much, and somehow every tiny heartbeat felt louder than the trumpet brush. Tokyo dawn beyond apartment lights, Seoul rooftops turning pale blue. The night slowly slipping away while I stayed awake beside you. Outside, the first train started moving, cold air drifting through the blinds. But inside our little room, time still floated softly behind. The record crackled between melodies, like old memories waking slowly, and every unfinished silence wrapped gently around me. The last song before sunrise still echoing through the room, two lonely hearts staying awake, trying to delay the morning too soon. You smiled with tired, sleepy eyes, while soft piano filled the air, and suddenly the ordinary moment became something rare. Because maybe love is simply this, not fireworks or dramatic scenes, just someone staying beside you quietly while the world fades into dreams. And when the final note disappeared, morning light touched your face slowly. But even after silence arrived, the music still remained between us. more songs inside our ears, only the distant sound of traffic and the cold midnight atmosphere. You removed one side of the earphone slowly, while sleepy city lights blurred blue. But somehow the silence afterward still sounded full because of you. Still walking beside you after the music ends, like the night itself doesn't want us to separate yet. Empty streets beneath the station bridge, rainwater shining silver white, vending machines glowing softly against the fading edge of night. Tokyo mornings almost waking, Seoul skies turning pale gray, the world preparing for another day, while we kept drifting the other way. No melodies left to guide us, no lyrics left to hide inside, only quiet footsteps together and emotions we couldn't describe. You smiled without saying anything, hands hidden deep inside your coat, and somehow that tiny moment felt warmer than every love note. Still walking beside you through sleepy neon air, even without music playing, romance somehow stayed there. Passed us slowly, morning wind moved through your hair, and suddenly I realized I no longer cared where we were going. Because maybe love is not the fireworks, not dramatic movie scenes above. Maybe it's simply choosing to keep walking together after the music stops. The skies slowly brighten behind us, birds beginning to wake somewhere far. But even when the city became morning, the night still remained inside my heart. Still walking beside you after the music ends, holding on to one